What's up, y'all? What's up? I'm just gonna stay here and let y'all come in little by little. I know I was supposed to go live. I know I'm late. Okay. I know I'm late. So before anyone says anything, okay, yes, I know I'm late. I was a little busy. But yeah, this has to be done. This video has to be done. Here, thing, guys. Typically, when I do my live streams, right, I typically have videos set up, everything set up, but I didn't have the time because y'all already know when I do my live stream, I'm pretty professional. I got my shit set up, I got my stuff set up, right? That's typically how I do my stuff. However, this a quick, like, I didn't have the time for that. I just came back from work, from school. I just gonna go straight to the topic. So no chaser, no intro. Just let's go straight into it. We got some comments here already. Okay, we got do stop please. Okay, Brian will. Beloved Thunder, let's go. Hammer, are you there? Sorry about that. Yeah, I told you I was running a little late, but I'm here now. Okay, I'm here now. Let's go. New sub within the past 1 month, and I've been and it's beginning to always. He says new sub here within the past 1 month, and I've been watched all your videos, and it's beginning to always sense. Okay, I guess always makes sense, right? I'm loving it. Yeah, because makes sense. Thank you. Because people who have watched my videos, right? I don't know how long you guys have been on my channel. In fact, let me go back to my channel since I have y'all here, because sorry, I don't have any fancy pronouncement today. I don't have any fancy videos. I'm just gonna get straight to the topic and get straight to what we're talking about. Okay. If you guys watch my videos, right? Let me go pull up. Because this is going to provide the context of what I'm talking about. Okay. Let me see how. Okay, so I made a live stream, right, 4 months ago. In fact, let me pull this up because I want folks to, because I got receipts. Okay, when was this? This was November 12th, 2022. Okay, I made a live stream on November 12th, 2022, titled "SYSBM and Paso Bros Still Date Black Women, Be Honest." Right? I made another live stream a couple of weeks later called Passport Bros Worship Non-Black Women. I made another live stream called Edward Anderson and SYSBM. So, in other words, months before all of this happened. And this is when me and BGS are going back and forth, right? Let me ask you a question. How many of you guys were around like 4 months ago when you guys saw me flame BGS and Edward? Because I remember I was on Art of New South's panel, and I was on Bgs Ibmor's panel, and I flamed both of them. How many of y'all were there on that show? Y'all can put a chat. I remember because y'all can go to my channel, right? Go to my channel, go to my lives. I have been calling this shit out for months way before the Austin Holloman, way before Justpearlythings. And every time I called this shit out, I got attacked by BGS, I got attacked by Edward, I got attacked by everyone. And now here I am being proven true. When I first began my I don't want to say rant, but my issues with the black manosphere, one of the number one issues I brought up was that the black manosphere is becoming too extreme. I said it multiple times, right? Y'all are becoming way too extreme. It's getting too extreme. Because on one hand, you guys complain about Chrissy, Paris Milan, Cynthia G, and how she's saying abort all black members. So you guys, rightfully so, complain about how the female content creators have gone extreme to a point at which they're calling for black male kids to be murdered, which I agree with. But you don't understand how the black manosphere has gone extreme too. When I first came into this space years ago, Most of the time, the black manosphere, and this is when old shit was kind of blowing up with the Sunday Rumbles. Most of the time, the black manosphere talk about issues, with the black community, black men. I'm like, this is when O'Shea New Jackson was still talking with Paris Milan. This is when the black manosphere was still talking with Chrissy. This. Okay, this is something like, in other words, the black manosphere was never this extreme. Like back then, especially 2.0, there were many content creators that were marvelous. They were actually having conversations with the other side, because it became clear that originally the black manosphere was about, because look, here's what I'm saying, right? Originally, there was no black manosphere. Originally, there was just a manosphere. In other words, black men and white men were in the same space. Now, who here knows why black men separated? Because originally, right, there was just a manosphere space with black men and white men. But here's the issue. Because it was the same way black men now in the black manosphere are talking about fucking white women, when it was just the manosphere of white men, guess what? They were also talking about fucking white women. But the problem is, when they were doing it back then, right, white men were a part of the manosphere, were part of the same space. And white men made it very clear that, hey, just because we're in this manosphere space, that doesn't mean we want you Negroes to fuck our women. They would attack black men a lot for even talking about interracial dating. So in other words, white men made it very clear that, hey, we may have issues with our female counterpart. We may have issues with white women, but guess what? We're not going to allow you black men to disparage our women. We're not going to allow you black men to even think about fucking our women. And the amount of racism that black men felt is a reason why they had to leave the manosphere and make their own black men. In other words, the black manosphere literally was created because white men were racist towards black men. The entire black manosphere space literally was created because white men in the manosphere were racist towards black men. Were racist towards black men. And originally, it seemed like black men in a black manosphere, right? They knew how to have conversations about black women, but still respect the black community. They knew how to have conversations about their women, but still respect the black community. It was all internal. All internal. But over time, and this is what I learned, over time I started to notice what? A lot of these guys, they started to become more extreme. More extreme. It went from just, oh, we have some issues with our women to, oh, now black women are better. Let's keep it real, right? Originally, it was just about, hey, we need to, talk about some issues black men have, black male issues, maybe some issues we have with black women, fine. But it went from that to, we need to pedestalize non-black women. It went from internal black conversations to snow bunnies. It went from internal black conversations to quote unquote mailing. It went from internal black conversations to pedestalizing Maria. It got to a point where almost every black manosphere conversation was about how non-black women are better, was about how white women are better, was about how Asian women are better, was about how Hispanic women are better. That was a conversation. And I was like, wait a minute. And I kept noticing this. Now look, at first, when the switch happened, right, it was just a couple of content creators, right? Because you had the Bgs Ibmor, you had the Paso Bros, but there was still a small group within the black men. They were still very small, right? Very small. They were not really part of the mainstream black manosphere yet. Okay? They were not part of the mainstream black manosphere yet. But it seemed like over time, the black men who were moderate and reasonable and had pride, in other words, they may have some issue with black women, but they have pride in their community. It's like they were being pushed out, and the black manosphere was slowly being overtaken over by SYSBMers, snow bunnyers, passport brewers. And before I knew it, I wake up one morning and you got SYSBM movement. And I'm just like, what? And, dude, I swear to God, it's like I go to sleep, I wake up one morning, and now the entire black manosphere is SYSBM. And I'm like, what? It got to a point where even Bgs Ibmor and Edward Anderson and SY. Guys, go and ask Bgs Ibmor and SYSBM, do they support SYSBM? They all do. They all do. All of them. They all support SYSBM. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, what? And bruh, the shit that they will say will be just, it will be, dude, out of control. You would have dudes hop on panels, talk about black women's weave, talk about black women's weight, you know, and they can talk about those things, but they will talk about all those things, but then when they go and deal with a non-black female, it's the same stuff. And I'm like, wait a minute, bro. You're dealing with a white woman that got all these same problems, but you're, what? Yo, let me give you guys a good example, right? There is a black manosphere content creator. I forgot what his name was. I think his name is Black Mindset. Cause this guy, in my opinion, let me see here. I forgot his name, but anyway, I forgot the brother's name. But anyway, there was a black male content creator in the black manosphere, right? He was associated with O'Shea. I forgot his name. But anyway, this dude would hop on panels, and this was years ago, and talk about black women up, blah, 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 right? And here we find out this guy was married to a white single mother. And I'm like, brother, what? You're on the panel talking about black female single mothers, but you're married to a white single mother? But see, this is the shit I kept seeing. But see, it didn't stop with the SYSBM shit, right? But here's the thing, guys, look. The problem, and before anyone asks, right? And guess what? I'm going to get to BGS later. I'm setting things up. I'm providing the context. The problem I have with SYSBM, right, is that it essentially attributed problems to black women that non-black women have. I'm going to give you a good example, right? If you look at all of these other non-black communities, all of these other non-black men are going through the same issues. White women on feminism. Asian women on feminism. Hispanic, all of the other groups of women are all trying to get to feminism, right? And their men are having the same issues. But you notice, although those other groups of men have problems with the women, they keep that shit indoors. Asian men, they have a problem with Asian women dating white men. They have a problem with Asian women on this feminist thing, especially in East Asia. But guess what? They never ever disparage women publicly. They always keep it indoors. White men are known, like they have an entire white manosphere. They complain about white feminism all the time. But guess what? They keep that shit indoors. And also, white men make it very clear that if any other group of men disparage their women, they'll go after you. I'm going to give you guys a great example, okay? When Kevin Samuels went to the Fresh and Fit podcast, right, he checked a white female feminist. Although white men did not like the white female feminist, the fact that it was a black dude that checked her, they were angry about that. They checked Kevin Samuels. In other words, yeah, we may have problems with our white women, but we're not going to let you do that to us. So every other groups of men, right, they have their own issues with their women, but they make sure to keep that shit indoors, and they make sure to let everyone know you can't touch our community. We can talk about our women, but you can't. But only black men are going to sit here and openly disparage the female counterpart and allow white women, white men, other groups of people to hop into their spaces to disparage the communities. And you wonder why nobody fucking respects you. But the crazy part is, Because all of these other non-black communities have some of the same issues with the women, they're just better at hiding it. So what ends up happening is when these SYSBM dudes leave the black community and go to white women, go to Asian, right? They end up finding out what? A lot of these other groups of people, women, right, are on the same feminism stuff. White women on feminism. Asian women, all these other non-black females are also on this feminism stuff. The only difference, the only fundamental difference is that there are groups of men, right, do not blast the women. There are groups of men keep that shit indoors in order to protect the woman's image. So you as a black man, you look at this white woman, you think, oh, she's all good, right? She's all great because white men protect their image. But when you go and deal with her, you find out she's a radical feminist. But for some reason, black men can understand this concept. Why can't they understand this fucking basic concept? And this is what gets me so angry, right? So that's the issue I have with the SYSBM. Then we had the whole passport bro shenanigans. The passport bro shenanigans got me fucking angry. I swear to God. Because what did it say? Because here's the reason why it was bad, right? In case you guys may not know, all across the world, black men have this image of being the mindless, big black brutes that want to fuck non-black women. If you go to South America, if you go to the Middle East, if you go to Asia, the image that people have of black men is the big, mindless brute that goes around trying to fuck non-black women. That's the image. That's the stereotype. That's how these non-black communities view black women. These big black brutes that want to fuck our women. And despite this stereotype, what do black men do? Oh, they're going to make an entire movement about black men going overseas to fuck non-black women. Despite the stereotype. And I said this passport bro shit is horrible for black men. Because what's going to happen is, you guys, black men already have this image overseas of being the big black brute that wants to fuck non-black women. By you making this passport bros movement about you going overseas to seek non-black women, is just going to reinforce that stereotype. And they're going to use this passport bro shit to discriminate against black men. Anytime they see a black dude overseas, all they got to do is tag you with, oh, he's a passport bro. And another thing I told him was that when you go overseas, right, you're not going to be treated the same as white men. I said this for months. And Bgs Ibmor, Edward Anderson attacked me saying, oh, I'm just, I'm pandering. And one example I brought up was Austin Holloman, right? And they attacked me. I kid you not, guys. After I issued my warning to Bgs and Edward, right? Literally 2 weeks, only like 2 weeks to a month later, Austin Holloman gets caught up in Brazil. Feminists come after him. He has to leave and go all the way, I think, to Thailand. And right now, a new report just came out that what is that an MP in Brazil is now trying to have him arrested. So if he ever goes back to Brazil, he could be on charges. And now you got all across the world, passport bros are now being associated with sex tourism. Now, keep in mind, guys, they're only doing this to black passport bros. White men can go to Brazil and do all the sex tourism they want without any problems. Black men, you have not been tagged with passport bros. You have not been tagged with sex tourism. And now you got stories coming out of black men going overseas and having to deal with this shit. Folks thinking the passport bros. Like, black men already had to deal with discrimination. Y'all just made it worse. Literally what I told y'all was going to happen. I said, what? This passport bro is going to be weaponized against black men because black men don't have the same privilege that white men do. You're viewed at the bottom of the hierarchy globally. You're viewed at the bottom of the hierarchy globally. So if you go to Brazil, yeah, they'll tag you with sex tourism. If a white dude goes there, no problem. And my thing is, why is it that passport bros constantly advertise going to non-black countries? Like, nigga, if you were a black, first of all, let me just give you a history lesson, right? South America was colonized by the Spaniards and the Portuguese. The native population was erased. Most of South America now essentially constitutes of the white Hispanics and mestizos, right? And the black Latinos and the indigenous people at the bottom. So in other words, South America has a very rigid racial hierarchy. White Hispanics at the top, below them is mestizos, and then at the bottom is black Hispanics and indigenous people. Now, even though mestizos make up the majority of the South American population, white Hispanics were that area. So in other words, why would you as a black man go to South America, go to a region where you know colorism is off the charts, where you know there is an entrenched racial hierarchy? Racism against black people there is like even worse. What are we talking about? So you're going to leave the United States to go to a country in South American, you're going to leave the U.S. to go to South American countries where racism is even worse? Huh? You passovers are going to go to Brazil, DR, go to countries where anti-black racism is even worse? And you're surprised that Austin Holloman got treated the way he did? You're surprised Austin Holloman got his black treatment? What did y'all expect? And now Austin Holloman is in Thailand being slapped by Asian females on camera. And I'm like, wait a minute, Austin. You are literally right now on camera being slapped by an Asian female and you're not tolerating it. But the crazy part is, if that was a black woman slapping you, y'all be talking about straps. She's a strap. But when an Asian female is slapping you on camera, it's no problem, right? That's what I'm talking about. They will talk about all the disrespect they get from black women, but then they will go to non-black women and tolerate the same disrespect and more. So first, y'all fucked up with the SYSBM shit. Second, y'all fucked up with the Paso Bro shit. And now guys, and now let's address it. Now BGS. Now you want to die on this Pearl Hill? Now, guys, look. I'm sorry for that long intro. Okay. Now that I've provided context, let's go into the Justpearlythings conversation. Okay. So now that we've addressed how we got here, right? The black manosphere went to extreme. The SYSBM shit, the Paso Bro shit, all those movements failed. And now y'all got yourselves in a Pearly situation. Here's the issue I have, right? When Justpearlythings brought on Nick Fuentes, first of all, for those who may not know, Nick Fuentes is a white supremacist. He is a self-declared white supremacist. The fact that Justpearlythings brought him on alone, just that alone should be the reason why Bgs Ibmor and Edward Ederson should be calling her out. Just that alone. But no, her bringing on a white supremacist, that's not enough. Y'all still defending her, right? She makes a joke about my Africans. Y'all still defending her. She talks about, she essentially has racial jokes with Fuentes, where he says, oh, because he's black. Y'all still defend him. She talks about how slavery, right? Parts of slavery were embellished. Y'all still defend her. She literally stood by and allowed Nick Fuentes to attack another white woman on the panel because she was dating a black dude. Y'all still defend her. She goes on Obsidian's live stream and says she does not believe reparations. Y'all still defend her. But you know what gets me so mad, BGS? If Justpearlythings was a black woman, you guys will be making live stream after live stream talking about strags, talking about you'll be talking about the gynocracy. You guys will be attacking her. But because Justpearlythings is a white female, you guys got all these excuses. BGS, why can't you just denounce Justpearlythings? Why? Make a video and denounce her. It's not that hard. Because once again, you guys have no problem denouncing black women, so why can't you denounce Justpearlythings? Why is it so hard? Why are you making? You had a whole yo. Here's the bad, right? Bgs Ibmor had a live stream today. I hopped on his live stream. Bgs Ibmor is a scared bitch. He kept ignoring me, right? And when I finally spoke, he dropped me. The self-declared, these guys are supposed thinking black men. These guys are supposed thinking black men. But when you force them, see, they are thinking black men until non-black women. These guys are only thinking black men until non-black women enter the conversation. When you ask these guys to think logically when it comes to non-black women, they won't do it. They would rather run to the sun. They will do everything they can, but they will never ever condemn a non-black female. They'll condemn a black woman. And see, that's the hypocrisy I don't like. You guys have no problem calling out black women when they fuck up. But when a white female fucks up, you guys would have all the excuses. A lot of black women have said that the black manosphere has a double standard. That the standard they will hold black women to, they don't hold to non-black women. I used to believe that was a lie, but BGS, the fact that you still can't call her out, I'm still gonna believe it. Because I know if Justpearlythings was a black female, you would have been called her out. But you allow this white female to get a pass? And you too, Edward, you're still defending her? I'm disappointed. Here we have a situation, we have two black male content creators. You guys, your resentment and hatred towards black women is so extreme. Your resentment and hatred towards black women has gotten so extreme. You guys are willing to defend a white supremacist. You're willing to defend a white woman that brought on and sympathized with a white supremacist. Is it that bad? Do you hate the black community that much, BGS? Do y'all hate black women that much? You guys are willing to hug the KKK just because you hate black women? And you wonder why nobody respects you? That's ridiculous. And I'm going to call this shit out. I do not want to hear y'all talking about black women ever again. All of the black male content creators that do not call out Justpearlythings, you have lost all credibility when it comes to black women. All credibility. Because what's not going to happen is we're not going to have a situation where you're going to criticize your own women, but then when a non-black female openly disrespects you, you're gonna not do anything. You're going to criticize your own women, but when a non-black female openly disrespects you, you're going to sit back and do nothing. Are you fucking serious? Any black male content creator that does not condemn Justpearlythings, you have lost all credibility when it comes to black women. I don't want to hear you speak of black females. I won't even take you seriously. Because if you can't condemn a white female, you hell them cannot talk about black female. If you can't condemn a white female, you better keep black folks at your mouth. If you can't do that. It's like, this is insane to me. And y'all, some of the defenses that I heard on that panel was insane. You had some folks hopping on Bishop's panel that was saying, oh, well, here's the crazy, right? They started off the stream by saying that Justpearlythings is not a part of the black manosphere, which is true. But here's the issue with that, right? A lot of the prominent members of the black manosphere have been associated with Justpearlythings. For example, Obsidian Mubia Ali. Obsidian Mubia Ali is a prominent member within the black manosphere. In fact, you could say he's one of the founding members. Anton Daniels, prominent member within the black manosphere space. MTR, prominent member within the black manosphere space. King Richards, prominent member within the black manosphere space. The real attorney, prominent member within the black manosphere space. All of these 5 prominent Black manosphere members have either had Justpearlythings on their panels or collaborated with her. Hell, Melanie King was just on Justpearlythings stuff. Melanie King has collaborated with Justpearlythings. Like, BGS, shut the fuck up. You cannot have over 6, if not 7, you cannot have 5 to 6 prominent Black manosphere content creators collaborate, if not platform, Justpearlythings, and then say, oh, she has no affiliation with the Black manosphere. What? So MTR is not Black manosphere? Melanie King is not Black manosphere? Hell, Justpearlythings was on Mubia Sin Ali's stream for hours. A couple of nights ago, Justpearlythings hopped on Mubia Obsidian's Ali stream, and she was there for hours. Obsidian had Justpearlythings on his channel for hours, and we know he's a prominent Black metal space. Oh, unless you're gonna start claiming that Obsidian is no longer Black manosphere. So many of the prominent figures in the Black manosphere have associated themselves with Justpearlythings. So although they may not have built her platform, but let's keep it real. A lot of prominent YouTubers in the Black metal space have been associated with her. And when you look at Justpearlythings has purposely targeted her content towards a Black audience. Justpearlythings used to make videos reacting to rap videos. Talking about the whitest girl on earth reacts to rap video. Justpearlythings used to react to Kevin Samuels and the lead attorney. She went out of her way to target the Black manosphere. What are we talking about? A lot of her shows have mainly featured Black women. What are we talking about? But y'all will allow her to essentially enter the Black manosphere, whether it's through Obsidian, whether it's through MTR, whether it's through Melanie King, whether it's through Anton Daniels, whether it's through the lead attorney. Y'all will let her come in. And then when she brings on a white supremacist, oh, now you want to play dumb. Here's what's so crazy. MTR has essentially, MTR has called out Justpearlythings, but yet BGS is still sucking her dick. BGS, hop off Justpearlythings nuts, please. It's embarrassing to have a damn near 50 to 60-year-old Black male sucking off the dick of a white woman. It's embarrassing right now. It's embarrassing. But here's what's bad, right? Bgs Ibmor and Edward first started off the panel, right? Bgs was the stream saying that, oh, she's now a part of the Black manosphere. But then he flipped and said, oh, well, the Black manosphere is using her. And I'm like, wait a minute. Wait a minute, BGS. So you start off your stream saying that she's not a part of the Black manosphere. And then when you get flamed, you switch up the rhetoric and say, oh, well, we're actually using her to carry the message. Which one is it? Is Justpearlythings not a part of the Black manosphere? Or is Justpearlythings being used to carry the Black manosphere message? Which one is it, BGS? Because either one is retarded. Number one, you cannot deny that Justpearlythings has been affiliated with a lot of prominent members in the Black manosphere space. And number two, you trying to say that you guys are controlling Justpearlythings is fucking retarded. So you think a small group of Black men online is going to quote unquote weaponize a white woman against a white community? You guys really believe that you guys really believe that the Black manosphere is going to take a white woman and weaponize her against the white community? Y'all really believe this shit? Y'all really believe this shit? See, the crazy part is, these are the same guys that will attack Black women for siding with white feminism. Don't you guys talk about how Black women got played when they sided with white women? When black women thought they could weaponize white women against black men, in the end, white women played them. Don't you know about that? You guys call out black women all the time for falling for that trick. But yet here you are, BGS, advocating for the black manosphere to try to align themselves with a white woman and try to use her against the white community. You're literally setting up black men to be in the same situation black feminists were in. Because Justpearlythings, as a white woman, is going to use y'all, and when she's done using y'all, she's going to throw you niggas to the side, just like how they did to black women. But you're supposed to be the master teacher, right? Right, BGS? You're the master teacher, but you can't stop defending a white woman. Are you fucking serious? But man, all right, y'all. Let me go and see what the comment says, because I think I've got on my chest. He says, Pastor Bro is really making sense. I'm off of man out of my life, but we can see much. Yeah, look, the problem is not black men traveling. The problem is the intention. Okay? Black men already have this image of being these big black brutes that want to fuck now. But by the way, listeners, that's how black men are viewed. Big black brutes that want to fuck non-black women. That's the reason why Jonathan Majors right now is facing charges. Because all his white girlfriend had to do was say, I was assaulted. And as soon as the police saw the big black dude, Jonathan Majors, you're guilty. Even though there's no evidence, just the fact that it was a big black dude and a white woman, he's guilty. But y'all can't keep your hands off these white girls, can you? Unbelievable. The black minister, yeah, it is very reactive. Caesar Music says, Hammer, you gotta realize as soon as the manosphere blew up, grifters were going to come in. Yeah, and yeah, that's a message. And you gotta realize a lot of these dudes will do anything for feminine, much as well. Brother, this is what separates me from the black males here, right? I want black women to be more submissive. I want the black women to be more traditional. That's my goal. But here's a fundamental difference. Despite all the issues I have with black women are always my preference. That's the fundamental difference. This is what separates me. Yes, I have my own issues where I want them to be more feminine. I want them to be more traditional. I want them to stop aligning with white feminism, right? That's what I want, right? I want black women to be more feminine, to be more traditional, to stop aligning with feminine. But here's the issue. Despite all of the issues I may have with black women will always be my preference. I will never, ever, y'all can clip this. I will never, ever, ever, ever in my life touch a white woman. I will never touch a Hispanic woman. I will never in my life. Because I know how the community operates. I know how the women operate. I won't even do it. It's better to deal with the women of your own group. And Jonathan Majors is learning the hard. You know what's crazy, y'all? This morning, right? I was searching up Jonathan Majors, right? Fox Soul. Now, for those who don't know, Fox Soul, right, essentially is a channel that predominantly is ran by black women, right? And Fox Soul had a black female panel, and they were talking about Jonathan Majors, right? Now, of course, black women, right? Let's keep it real. They had to bring it up, the fact that he was with a white woman, which is fair. Do you know what shocked me the most? Although these black women were angry, rightfully so, that Jonathan Major was with a white woman, they still stood with him. Think about this. Although the black women on Fox Soul were angry that Jonathan Majors was with a white female, they still vouched for his innocence. But yet, if you go on Twitter, if you go on YouTube, the entire white community is saying he's guilty. There's no evidence, no video, no nothing. They're saying he's guilty. The army already pulled his ass. His white girlfriend apparently recanted her allegations, and guess what? The white community is still saying he's guilty. That's the fundamental difference between your own group of women and other groups. Whatever issues you may have, right? Whatever issues you may have with black women, they're still your female counterpart. They're more obliged to stand by you. Let's keep it real. But these other non-black women, there's more of a chance let's keep it real. There's more of a chance that they'll be weaponized by their own community. Even though these black women on Fox, and these are women who are feminists. These are black feminists. But they still stood by Jonathan Majors. But the white feminists on Twitter are trying to get them locked up. That's the difference. And that's what separates me from the black manosphere. I may have my criticisms. I may want black women to do better. I may want to be more submissive, traditional, but that's because black women are genuinely my preference. And that's because that's who I want to get married, have kids with. And I'm never going to be with a non-black female. But a lot of these guys, that's our black women, right? For a lot of them, they just want an excuse to date out. Can we be honest here? A lot of the guys in the black manosphere, when they talk about the issue, when they talk about black women, it's not because they genuinely care about them, right? They talk about black women because they want an excuse to date out. A lot of you guys in the black manosphere will intentionally talk about black women, not because you actually care about the black community or care about the well-being, but because you just want an excuse to SYSBM. You want an excuse to pass for bro. You want an excuse to date out. So there was nothing this black woman could have done anyway, because your mind was already made up. Snow bunnies. Your mind was already snow bunnies. But for me, that's different, right? When I talk black women, right, that's because that's genuinely who I want to be with. It is what it is. I'm going, white women, they deem, yeah, man, it's lied to me. And like, that's not even true. Because the crazy part is a white woman will live. Yo, I have seen situations. A white woman will put hands on a black dude and he'll tolerate it. Justpearlythings really capitalized on many black men. She did. Some seems like they needed an excuse to date out. Very coward-like. If you want to do it in peace, no need to be. Exactly, and that's what I'm saying. Believe it, Summer. Okay. You just said it perfectly, right? There's a difference. And that's what separates me from them, right? When I have my criticism towards black women, it's because I genuinely care about black females. They are my preference, and that's who I'm ever going to date, right? I'm never going to touch a white woman. I'm never going to touch a number. I'm not. They will always be my preference. When I talk about when I talk about women, right, it's because that's genuinely who I want to be with. But a lot of these guys, when they talk about black women, it's because they just want an excuse to date out. That's the difference. Be honest here, man. There is nothing a black woman could have done to get you to date her. You already made up your mind you were going to go to Snowbunny Land. You already made up your mind you were going to date out. That's the reason why, right? You guys will skip over Shez Sade. You will skip over Crimson Cure. You will skip over Melanie King to go and worship Justpearlythings. An ugly-looking white female. Fucking see. This was so crazy, right? You guys are literally sacrificing your reputation just to defend an ugly white woman. But yet, if it was Melanie King or another black female that fucked up, y'all be dragging her ass. Talking about her weave and stuff. But that's the fundamental difference, right? There's a difference between constructive criticism because you actually care about the person, right? This person, in other words, there's a difference between having constructive criticism towards black women because that's your preference, that's who you actually want to be with, and you just attacking black women because you want an excuse to get out. A lot of y'all want to go with snow bunnies, and you guys talk about black women is just an excuse. Because what happens is y'all would say all this shit, go to a white female, right? Jonathan Majors, I'm calling you out. Y'all will say all this stuff, go to a white female, and then when the white woman gets you on assault charges, oh, now it's a problem, huh? now you quiet. I don't know what these men are looking for, but they're willing to look into the mirror. Yeah. Shout out to her. I don't know who she is, but shout out to her. Yeah, because yeah. And of course now, but here's the problem. Now they want to make it seem as if I pander to. I do not pander to the women. I don't pander to the women or the men. Okay? I call out the men and the women equally. Okay? I have made multiple streams on this channel calling out feminism. I've made multiple streams on this panel calling out women back in the LGBT. I've made multiple streams calling out women. It's such a. I've made multiple streams, right? But despite all the issues I may have with black women, I will never, ever, 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 ever allow a non-black person to disparage black women in my presence. Yeah, I can talk about black women. I can talk about their behavior, but you can't. That's right. I can talk about the issue with my women, right? Because they're my women and they're part of my community, but you can't. Yes, you, Becky. Yes, you, John. All of you non-black folks, I will never, ever allow you to hop on my channel to disparage non-black women. That's never going to happen. As a black man, those are my female counterparts. I can talk about them because they're my women. But you, who are part of but all of you non-black folks, no. I will never let you hop on here and do that. And that's the fundamental difference. And guess what? Despite all the issues I may have with black women, I'm still my preference. Because I understand that all these non-black communities, they have their own fuckery too. Okay? Asian men have been complaining for years about how their women openly date white men. Asian men have been complaining for years about the quote-unquote feminism in the Asian community. I'm like, herbivore men is huge in Japan. Right now in China, you have the whole Lion Flag movement. You have feminism movement in China. But guess what? Despite the issue that they have with the women, guess what? They still defend they're still on code. They still will not allow you to talk about their women. Same thing with white men. White men talk all the time about how much they hate white feminism, but guess what? They will never allow a black dude to disparage their women. And I apply the same standard when it comes to black women. Yes. I may have some issues, yes. I may call out the feminism, yes. But guess what? I can talk about this shit. I can talk about the problems I have with some black women, right? But despite all of that, they're still my preference, and that's who I'm gonna get married to. If I choose to in the future, but that's who I will. If I ever choose to get married and have kids, it will be with a black female. Okay? There's no doubt. Despite all the problems they may have, they're my female counterpart, and that's never gonna change. They're still my women. It is what it is. But guys like BGS, Edward, a lot of them, right? When they talk about black women, it's not because they actually love black women. It's not because they actually view them as an actual, choice. They just want an excuse to legitimize SYs and Paso Bros. That's all they want. Okay? So on this channel, yeah, we'll be calling out the males and the females. Both. Okay? Both will be called now. That's what it is. Okay? But today, yeah, I have to call that shit out. BGS, I'm going to say something, BGS. If I do not see you call out Justpearlythings, I better not hear you speak about black women ever again. If you don't have the balls to call out a white woman, if you literally cannot call out a white woman, you better not talk about a black woman ever again, because you've literally proved everything they've been saying about y'all. So all the black male content creators, any one of you black male content creators that do not call out Justpearlythings, you have lost all credibility when it comes to black females. If you can't call out Miss Ann and Becky, don't talk about Keisha. Don't talk about other black women. Don't talk about it. But anyway, I'm gonna leave it there. I've been here for almost 50 minutes. Y'all in the chat. Before I go, do you guys have anything y'all want to send before I go? So if you guys are watching, if you guys have any questions, any comments, put in the chat and let me know, and I'll respond to them quickly. I'll wait for you guys. But yeah, it's disappointing. And the crazy part is, I was on Green Gorilla's panel, and on Green Gorilla's panel, I was calling him out. I was calling him out. And I'm like, brother, like, dude, you're going to sit here and defend Justpearlythings? It's crazy to me. Because I know if Justpearlythings, he's saying Gaston, your boy. Oh, I clicked it. Hey, yo, Gaston, your boy. Go, and this is what makes this is why I lost all respect for BGS, y'all. Go to BGS's previous stream. Go to the end, around the end of the stream. Because remember, when he went live, I was still at work, so I had to wait until I came home. I clicked on the stream. When I hopped on the stream, right, BGS would not let me talk. He let everybody talk. And then when I finally got to talk, as soon as I spoke, he dropped me. I had to wait to hop on. And then when I hopped on, BGS would not let me talk. I had to wait. Right? He let everyone talk. And then as soon as I talked, he dropped me. As soon as I talked, he dropped me. That's who he is. This is the master teacher. As soon as I talked, he dropped me. Because he knew I was right. The reason, guys, this is the reason why I started off. This is the This is the reason, guys. This is the reason why I started off the live stream, given the context, because the context matters. Okay, I have been going back and forth with BGS over Pastor Bro SYSBM for months, and in the end, I was right. The SYSBM shit fell apart because we found out what non-black women are also trying. The SYSBM thing fell apart because we realized what non-black women also believe in feminism. Non-black women also believe in feminism and female empowerment, just like black women do. So it's not just a black female issue. The passport bullshit fell apart because why? We realized black men are not going to be able to do overseas what white men can do. So yeah, white men can go overseas and do sex tourism. When you do it, you get attacked. I was right. And now the black manosphere's pedestalization of non-black women has put them in this Justpearlythings situation, which I warned BGS about how the black manosphere pedestalizes non-black women. I warned about it. And so because I was right, and his entire crew got exposed, when I hopped on the panel, he dropped me. He couldn't take it. But it's all right, master teacher. Oh, sorry. You are sorry. You're no longer a master, right? You're now a Becky worshiper. It's all right, Becky worshiper. Your true colors have been shown today. Don't talk about black women, right? From now on, I want you to talk about white folk stuff. Talk about Nick Fuentes, because that's your community now. Okay? Talk about them. But yeah, man, it's crazy. Yeah, he's a punk. Look, bro, I did not expect BGS to do that. I'm going to tell you all why, okay? I was shocked when he dropped me. Guys, I don't know if you guys know this, right? There is a YouTuber by the name of Taz Exclusives. Okay? Taz Exclusives, in my opinion, is almost like a male feminist. I hopped on Taz Exclusives' panel. I was diametrically opposed to his views. But despite me being diametrically opposed, Taz let me speak for almost an hour freely. He never muted me. He never dropped me. In fact, he let me essentially speak my piece. And although I did not agree with his views, I respected him for doing that. Because there are very few content creators that will allow folks to hop on the panel and speak freely if they don't disagree. There are very few content creators that will allow somebody to hop on the panel, say, essentially spread views they don't agree with and let them speak. Most content creators, bitch-ass content creators, right? If their points are not strong, they will mute you, they will drop people. See, I never do that. I know I'm right. I know my points are strong. Whenever I bring someone on my panel, I let them talk. Because my facts speak for themselves. I don't need to mute somebody. I don't need to drop somebody. So the fact BGS did that, yeah, you just proved to me you're not a master teacher. A master teacher doesn't need to mute anybody, right? The facts speak for themselves. But you realize you lost. You realize Hammond was right BGS? Because you love calling me a Padawan, but it looks like your Padawan killed you. Isn't that right, BGS? The Padawan slit your throat. But anyway, yo, why didn't BGS call him to use the back stream? Hello, because BGS lost. Like, what is BGS going to say? That I am Bgs Ibmor, and I am defending a white girl that brought on Nick Fuentes. How do you defend that? There's no way for him to defend that. But anyway, y'all, I'm gonna head out. I've been here for almost an hour now. Yeah, thank y'all for coming out. I had to respond to BGS and Edward Anderson because one of the wilding out with the streams. But anyway, y'all, thank you so much. And hammer out.